everyone. A very warm good afternoon to one and all who were kind enough to give APT a chance to take the time out of your lives, an hour out of your life, and come for this one-on-one session. It is a privilege for me to welcome all of you to Econ 101. I am Sinu Sara Saji, and I am here to introduce APT to you and economics to you guys. And today, I only hope that all of us here share the same love and passion for the subject matter of economics and for the love for teaching. I noticed that there are a lot of registrations that we've gotten from the other departments. I welcome you guys also to the meeting. Wait around for the interactive session, and your feedbacks would mean the world to us. Thank you, guys. Once again, I welcome all of you to Econ 101. Verona, this is your cue to begin.
Can everyone see me and hear me?
Yes, beautiful. Go ahead.
Hello, guys. My name is Verona. I'm one of your peer trainers, and welcome to APT. So what is APT? Simply put, we're the academic peer training wing of the economics department. But this is so much more than that. My team and I wanted to create a safe space for everyone to learn. Something more than a classroom, something individually catered for each and every one of you. And truth be told, I think we could all use that little bit of help sometimes, It's like that day before your big exam and you're trying to cram in everything that you can, and you're like, there's one concept that I can't remember and I know it's important, or that one big word and you're like, that never registered in my head. And you're thinking, okay, how many times have I asked my friend, or how many times have I asked my teacher? And I don't know, should I call them? I don't know, is she busy? Can she pick up? And you have all these questions, and it's a big dilemma at that time, but we just want you to know that we've got your back. And we're going to get you out of those moments, and we're going to help you out. So economics, right? Some of us picked economics because we did it in 12th grade and we thought, wow, this is nice. This is what I want to do. And then some of us just thought, okay, economics deals with money. I want to make money. I think that's the way I should go. Then there's, of course, the third category. My parents made me do it. We're not going to go there now. But what is economics? It's everyday life. It's your choice to buy a Happy Meal and not, the 350 rupee textbook you were actually supposed to buy for class. That is what we call the problem of choice. A common concept we hear is marginal utility. In everyday life, you can see it in the work of a daily wage laborer. They usually work by the hour, and they continue to work until that last hour of work gives them the satisfaction for that hour's pay. That is what we call marginal utility, every additional unit for every additional unit of wage. And there's something called the 20/80 rule. I'm sure this is a common concept for people into fitness and health and working out. We always hear that any fitness goal, it's 20% diet, 20% workout, and 80% diet. But what so many of us don't know, that this 80/20 rule was actually founded by an Italian economist called Pareto in the year 1896, which is ages and ages ago, before fitness was a big thing. So Pareto actually observed that in most countries, 20% of the people hold 80% of the wealth. And that distribution in economics is called power law, or scale-free distribution. And this is what I mean by saying, economics is everyday life. Anything you pick up, anything you see, it can be connected to economics. And we want to simplify it for you. We want to make it easy. We want to make it fun. And we want to make it social, make it interactive. And more importantly, we want economics to be something you love, a subject that you can come back to at the end of the day and say, hey, I like this. I want to do this. This is what I see myself doing. Economics doesn't need big, fancy, and complicated words so that you can understand concepts. We're here to go over it, to simplify it for you in the most basic way, and to make it understandable for how many ever times you need to go over it. We want to help you be better. We want you to achieve your goals, and we're going to do it together. So coming to APT, I know so many of you will have questions about how this is going to work, what is peer training. So we're a team of 22 people, and you can sign up for sessions with either one of us according to your convenience. And we just want you to know no question is a stupid question, no doubt is too small to be solved. You can always reach out to us, always come up, and we are here to give you all the help you need. So, up next, we have Tirth, who will be talking about a little bit more about, well, economics. And he'll be introducing a few core concepts and relating it to real life. Thank you.
Thank you, Verona. I hope you guys are doing well today. So just give me a minute as I present the PPT. All right. So to explain economics, the core concepts always boil down to some 10 or so principles, something which I was fortunate enough to learn when I was first beginning out in economics, and it really allowed me to connect economics in a way that would have been much more difficult without them. They allow me to rationalize difficult concepts, graphs, and laws and theories, and generally help me all, even in my daily life. So I'd like to share them with you, and I think this will actually help you get a stronger basis. So to begin with, why do you want to learn these principles is the first thing is like this. As you might have started already, you must have started with marginal utility. Something which I noticed in my class was a lot of people had a trouble grasping the concept of utility itself, how the amount of utility that you gain goes down. The rationalization of it is a much more difficult thing because economics generally tends to deal not only with deals more or less with humans than with their natural forces. In science, physics has set laws, but humans are very fickle-minded people, and that is why they only have very few things which can help define them. So the first one of this would be decisions involve trade-offs. So what are you doing right now over here? You're listening to me. I'm explaining to you the 10 principles, which will later help you in understanding economics. What could you have done in this time? You could have gone down to play, or you could have, I don't know, play on your phone. So what are you trading off over here? This is what is the decision of trade-off. I don't know how many of you have come to this until now, but there is this is a utility graph which is made for cardinal utility. You will see that between two goods, how do you balance the trade-off? Do you take 9 of P and just 1 of trees when you take this here? When you're coming down cutting trees, is basically what it's saying. If you have the economic output on one hand and you want to cut 9 trees, okay, and leave just 1 tree alive, you will see that there's a trade-off, right? On one hand, you're getting the goods, which you can use to satisfy yourself by creating some woodwork. But on the other hand, you're harming nature. So there is always a trade-off in economics. It's a basic law of it. Next, you have the opportunity cost of resources. Now here, I was talking in your perspective, right? Now, this is daily life when it comes down to it, with my time management and whatnot. Here, I'm talking in the perspective of a company. You have millions of dollars. How would you use it? In this example, you can see it's about a clothing factory or a food factory, what you create with it. So this is the opportunity cost of resources. Economics, in basic terminology, is trying to satisfy unlimited wants with limited resources. So when you have these limited resources, how you balance them to get different products and goods to help satisfy your needs the most is exactly what the opportunity cost of resources is. Next is people respond to incentives. Why are you here right now is not just because you want to learn, you felt that this was interesting and hey, I could just check it out. You have an incentive. You want to learn, you want to be better. And this is where this whole incentive idea comes in. If you go for many of these seminars, what is the incentive? You're getting a certificate, which will give you credits. In economics, you have similar incentives. You have something like tax incentives, financial incentives, subsidies, tax rebates, and you have even negative incentives. So, for example, tax incentives would be something like if you donate to charity, you're going to get tax cuts. The government won't tax you as much. Why do you think lots of billionaires are philanthropists? Because of course, they can't handle a tax on the billions that they own in assets. So they donate some of it to charity and reduce the tax. Similarly, you have financial incentives. This can be generally something which you have in workplaces. You could be an employee. How do you be motivated? Say your boss treats you bad, doesn't give you any sort of incentive like extra salary or promotions, you're not going to work for it. But if he gives you financial incentives, you work one more day a week, I'm going to give you $100 more. You're going to be extremely pumped for it. Subsidies is something which the government takes care of. If you want people, if the government needs the producers to price a good lower, they will always put a subsidy on it, because you can't just tell someone who is spending lots of his own money in creating goods to charge a rate which will not suit him. So the government chips in and says that, see, you put your price lower, I will subsidize it by giving my own money on behalf of the public, and the public can buy it for the cheaper cost. This is generally what you see in the PDAs when you have those rations and whatnot. Next, you have tax rebates, quite similar when you have, for example, if you're having a child, you can sometimes get tax rebates in the US. You have negative incentives. Now, this is the same thing, but it's the opposite. Economics negative incentives are extremely important. The whole percentage, like the RBI increasing the repo rate from 2% to 3%, without going into what repo rate actually is, it basically can be a negative incentive if the bank rates are increased. You're incentivized to put your money into the bank. But then when it comes down to loaning, because the interest rates in the banks are going up, people will start loaning lesser. This means that there'll be lesser people who are able to get loans to start new businesses, or who are lesser people who have loans to have more money with them. This can generally control something called inflation, which I'll come to later. So this is how generally the RBI controls the money supply. But you learn this soon. But just remember that incentives is a very core concept in economics, especially macroeconomics. Everything is measured in monetary terms. This is extremely important as well. Whenever everything has to be in the form of money or units. You can't have anything in the air like that. You can't have something like, she likes it a lot. You say no. She derives 20 units of satisfaction from this product. Why do we do this? Economics, even though it's a subject that is studied both in arts and sciences, it is primarily a science side of subject. It deals with numbers much more than it deals with feelings, in like how you in psychology. Next is markets refer to organization of economic activity. Now, you must be reading a newspaper now. I'm pretty sure a lot of you might have picked up interest ever since seeing what economics is all about. And something that's exactly what I did in the beginning. But something that always used to catch me was, what do they mean by markets? I mean, you have markets, grocery stores, and whatnot. But how does it reflect the economy as a whole? Markets are basically a point of organizations. They facilitate exchange. So a man having, like, say, 10 rolls of toilet paper isn't exactly a market. It's just 10 rolls of toilet paper, right? But he sets up a stall, he sets up an account, and he starts trading those toilet papers, especially during COVID-19. You will have seen how much of a profit he makes. That becomes a market. It becomes a place of exchange. More people join in, and the market starts to grow. And one more thing that you need to keep in mind is there's something called as economic activity and non-economic activity. Now, you see two pictures over here, right? There's a man over here cooking in his house. He could be cooking for himself or for his family. But does it mean that he is contributing to the economy? He's bought these goods, he's made them into food, and he himself is consuming it. So no one is getting any sort of benefit other than himself. There's no money being changed anywhere. There's no monetary value in him consuming his own food. So it becomes a non-economic activity. On the right over here, we have a woman who's working outside. She could be working in a firm or she could be an entrepreneur. But as you can see, she's not working for herself. She is working to make money, and she's working to add to the economy. She's producing goods and services. And there it becomes an economic activity. Now, next one is states influence markets for efficiency. Now, one more misconception is that markets are always on their own. That's not true at all. The state is extremely meddling in market affairs. There is nowhere in the world you'll find a market independent of the state. The state, I mean, is the government. The government takes care of the interest rates. It makes sure how much is the prices on goods. Sometimes, like I explained with subsidies, it puts tax rates. All of this affects the market. The government effectively makes sure that the market stays good. Here you can see a graph on my screen. So this pink line is actually the recession. What recession is when economic activity starts slowing down. And what this blue line is essentially government spending. So this is in terms of the US. As you can see over here, the recession, as it started, the economy started plummeting. The government started spending more. And as the government spent more, it created more jobs because the government started building roads. They even spend on defense, and people join the army. They get jobs, and once they get jobs, they have money. And once they have money, they buy goods. And once they buy goods, producers have the money to make more goods. So this whole cycle repeats again and again. And this is exactly what this principle is. Economy is a cycle which the state influences to make sure it keeps going. Almost like a potter, if you think about it, because a potter decides when the spinning has to stop to mold it better, or when he has to continue spinning it. So the government always makes sure to spend its own money from its own pockets to make sure more enough jobs are available for the economy to keep producing more and more goods. Next is the principle of productivity. As I was explaining, productivity is extremely important. You must have heard the term gross domestic produce. What does this exactly mean? It basically means the total amount of final products in an economy. And this graph over here is actually pretty simple. You can see over here capital per hour of work, how much money you are spending per hour of work for an employee. This man sitting over here could be earning anywhere between a minimum wage of $1.75 an hour to say some $30 wage, which could actually fetch him a good life. Now, based on that, you will see productivity changing. The lesser you spend, the less you're going to produce. And the productivity is essentially what is the be end all of an economy. They need to make sure that their productivity remains high. If any of you have been reading the newspaper, you might have noticed that the GDP has contracted some 23.9%. What does this mean? COVID-19 has shut down so many shops across the country. So many people are jobless. So many companies cannot even keep their operations running. Because of this, goods and services in the country are produced lesser and lesser. And at the end of the day, this estimate says that in the future, we're going to have lesser goods and services that are going to come to the market. And therefore, the economy is going to be less productive. Next, we have inflation. Now, you must have heard me mentioning inflation, how RBI controls this. Inflation is essentially the increase in the price of goods and services. It generally happens because of a mixture of causes, but one of the biggest things is an increase in money supply. People always come to me when I'm discussing any sort of politics with them, that why can't the government just start printing more money? The US is printing more money. Japan has been printing as much as it can. So why can't we do it? The issue is that it leads to inflation. Why is that 100 rupee note in your wallet right now important? Is it the only 100 rupee note? It could be. And then it's precious to you because you need to make sure you spend it wisely. But say the government just started printing money and spending everywhere, okay? Remember the first principle which said the government will always intervene in the markets. It just starts spending indiscriminately. In the end, what's going to happen is that you're going to see a lot of people have a lot more money. And the value of each and every bit of the currency is going to go down. Now, this can sometimes work in tandem with situations where an economy is in trouble. An example can be, if anyone has read about World War I and II, do you remember Germany's hyperinflation shortly after World War I? It was because the government started spending, was printing a lot of money to pay off loans, right? And there was a famine, there was food shortages. So when this happened, money supply was incredible, but the prices of goods skyrocketed, and this led to inflation. Hence the picture over here, which shows goods and services going up in price. And now you have this thing, inflation, unemployment, and unemployment trade-off. Now, after I talk about inflation, you must be thinking, damn, inflation kind of sucks, right? I mean, it's definitely not something you'd want in an economy. But that's actually pretty wrong. The Indian government actually wants inflation to happen every year. It wants a 4.3% or so inflation rate. Of course, they can't keep it. They have always a 2% margin of error, but they want money supply to keep increasing 4%. Why? Because when there's more money supply and more people have money, they are able to make more businesses which will eventually lead to an increase in GDP. And in fact, this relationship between inflation and employment can be represented in the Phillips curve over here. What do you see over here? The more that there is this thing, spending or inflation, the lesser the unemployment tends to go. The same way you can see the graph above it, the inflation, the CPI over here, which means Consumer Price Index, which is basically a measure of inflation. It measures the prices of all products and gets an aggregate of them. You can find that it often coincides or almost follows a trend with the unemployment graph. As inflation rises and then comes down, unemployment suddenly picks up because suddenly there's a lot of money in the economy. A lot of people like you and me can suddenly start businesses, and I think this is pretty amazing how something good in economics can be bad as well. So always keep that in mind. Everything has a trade-off, and everything is not always as it seems. There are multiple factors that take part in economics. And always remember these 10 principles. I hope you guys have a great day. I'll now be passing it on to my colleagues who will now be presenting to you a small handbook which might be quite useful to you guys. Thank you.
Namaskar, you're muted. Namaskar, you're on mute. Kindly
Okay.
unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry, there was a technical glitch. I apologize, everyone. Okay, so hello, everyone. Nandini and I are here to tell you a little about this handbook we created. So far too often, we've noticed that economics has too much jargon and too many complicated terms, right? Like sometimes when you're revising for an exam, you feel like, yes, I know the term and it seems familiar, but you just can't seem to get exactly what it means. And obviously, nobody wants to go through so many pages of notes last minute. So we made a little guide compiled with some terms for this semester, microeconomics. And we just want to make this another handy little handbook tool that will make economics more accessible. So now Nandini is going to present the screen and tell you guys what we put in the handbook.
Let me know if you can see it.
Yeah, we can, Nandini.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Nandini. I'm a first year student and I'm also a peer tutor. So Nanashka and I made a handbook based on the semester 1 microeconomics concepts for you guys to refer to. So what we have done is that we've compiled all the main concepts in your syllabus and we've put the definitions in layman terms so you can understand it. And we've also added a lot of graphs and charts so you can understand it in the best way possible. We will also be putting this handbook out soon in a PDF format so everyone can access it, and we've also arranged it in alphabetical order so you can find what you're looking for very easily. And we also have a answering guideline, which Nanashka can tell you more about.
Okay, yes, guys. So this guideline is basically split into two main parts. The first part talks about answering. Now, in our exams, we have different questions that carry a weightage of different marks. So the guideline tells you how to write answers for the weightage of your question. So we've split it into 3-mark questions, 5-mark questions, and 15-mark questions. The second part of this guideline is, I think, what most people will enjoy. It's a little outline of what your assignment should be like. So we've noticed in assignments, there's something called the APA style that's required, right? When you cite your resources. There's also plagiarism, which is, for most of us who come directly from school to college, it's a very strange concept. And so we've explained what plagiarism is. We've also put in a little flowchart as to how to cite your references APA style. And I've also written a little note about critical evaluation and why it's an important part of your assignment. Both of these will be available in PDF formats very, very soon. So I hope you guys find this useful. And we had a lot of fun putting work into it. So thank you. We will now be opening, I'll now hand it over to Sarah. Thank you.
Thank you, Nandini and Nanashka. The team has put a lot a lot of effort into the handbook. So I request everyone, it is free, obviously, it's like a glossary kind of thing. So I request everyone to go through it and give us your feedback on the same, because it will mean a lot to us. And I don't think we as a team can get anywhere without constructive criticisms. That is the only way we will keep improving. Anyway, so back to Teeth. Teeth, kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yes. So, Teeth, Ananya Banerjee has a question for you. She asks, what is the meaning of trade-off? Kindly answer.
All right. So when it comes to trade-off, so as I explained, trade-off is basically a decision of a human. You yourself are making a trade-off right now, right? You could be going down to play with your friends. You could be reading a book, but you decided to come here and decided to listen to the entire APT session and try and increase your knowledge. This is your trade-off. You're spending your time is your trade-off. How you spend it is basically the trade-off. If you're going to come here, it is one way, but if you're going to go there, it's another way. It's choosing that path, and the trade-off is the other path. If you understand what I mean.
Ananya, are you there? Kindly confirm if that question is clear to you. Ananya Banerjee? Okay, that's fine. So I hope that question is clear to you. So we move on to the next question. So Mohan, thank you, Ananya. I just saw your response. Thank you. It means a lot to us. Anyway, you talked about inflation and how we can't print as many currencies like Japan does or America does, right? So the question to you is, why are we not making more of currencies? So you can talk about it from an Indian perspective, how our economy works. Go ahead.
All right. So think about it this way, right? Now, currently, we are going through a very turbulent economic crisis in terms that, as I mentioned, shops are closing down, businesses are closing down. You might be wondering if money is in short supply, why not start printing a lot of it? Now, think about it. Think about this. As I mentioned, will it be if you're Mohan, I'm sorry to use this example, but you are one person right now. Imagine there were 10 or 20 of you. How special would you remain? You wouldn't technically be as special as you are right now, because there are so many more Mohans out there in that sense. But the same applies for currency as well. If there's too much of currency, there's going to be too much of money in the hands of people, and they're going to start spending too much. Then the value of the money itself will go down, right? If you have been reading the newspaper, you can see that the rupee has been climbing recently. Why is it against the dollar that we are climbing? It's not just because that we are going to be getting a lot more dollars into the economy because people are investing here. It's also because the dollar has been printed so much right now that there's so much dollars that people are less demand for dollars. Actually, on this point, I'll explain this bit to you. Demand and supply is something that I think in our class, Anita ma'am is just restarting on, but demand determines the price of things. The importance of things. If there's just one cereal box in the entire grocery stores, the demand for the cereal box is high. People are going to do whatever they can to get it. Same way, when it comes down to money, if there's so much of money in circulation that anyone can get their hands on it very easily, the value of the money itself comes down, if you understand what I mean. That is why the government simply can't indiscriminately start spending printing currency. Or else what will lead to is going to be inflation, which will be money will be too much in circulation, increased prices, and so on and so forth. The cycle will continue.
Okay, Teeth, we have another question for you again from Lily. Anyway, before we continue, Mohan, is that clear to you? The concept of inflation? Kindly
unmute. Sure. Thank you, Teeth, for the explanation.
Thank you. We really hope you understood and that you loved the session. Anyway, moving on. So, Teeth, we have another question for you. This is related to trade-off, okay? So, Lily is asking if trade-off is similar to opportunity cost.
So, yeah, actually, trade-off and opportunity cost are similar but not exactly the same. Whereas when trade-off is in perspective of you yourself doing everyday lives and things that can happen, it's more a decision basis. Opportunity cost is more mathematical in the sense that I'll give you this example. Let's say that you have 100 rupees, and with that 100 rupees, you can buy a lollipop, right? The lollipop is 85 rupees. Just for an example, I'm not saying it's in a real life situation. Lollipop should never cost that much. But say that there is another chocolate bar which is just coming for 45, right? This opportunity cost is you determining how to use your resources the best. That 100 rupees, you can buy 2 chocolates for 45 each and spend 90 and still have 10 rupees back. Or you can buy 1 lollipop for just 85 rupees and maybe have a longer lasting satisfaction. So this is what opportunity cost is. Trade-off, on the other hand, is a decision. All right. It is a decision that, okay, now I have 100 rupees. I'm going to make sure that with this 100 rupees, I'm going to take a rickshaw to the mall and spend how much ever I can. Or you could save that 100 rupees. That is the trade-off over here. It is the second decision that has been bypassed. Opportunity cost is more of how you use your resources in the maximum with maximum efficiency. If you understood, just tell in the chat box or like unmute.
Yes, Lily, have you understood? If you have any more queries, guys, you can post it on the chat box. We will definitely get back to it. All right. So meanwhile, we have something fun planned. Actually, honestly, we were supposed to have a different session by one of our other volunteers called, her name is Garvika, but unfortunately she couldn't make it because it's raining cats and dogs in her town. So she doesn't have internet connection. So we move on to Pictionary. Okay. All right. So before we move on again, Teeth.
A lot of questions, yeah.
They love you. I think they love you as much as the team does. Okay. So actually, the Friday 13, I hope it's okay that I address you that way. Friday 13 has a question. Actually, we were doing utility in class, but I didn't even understand what utility is. What is marginal utility?
All right. So this concept, actually, a lot of people who are coming from science or art stream don't exactly understand. Like I mentioned, one of the principles that I mentioned was everything has to be in monetary terms. And while talking about it, I said it has to either be in terms of money or in terms of units. It cannot be, because economics is very mathematical, right? So I'm going to give you an example, right? If I give Sarah, if I give Sarah, say, a book, now how much satisfaction she will deserve from she will derive from the book is based on the utility. If it's some book she doesn't like, let's say it's a murder mystery, which is something she's not into, I'm assuming, she will not derive as much utility from it. So it'll be something like maybe 10 utility. I won't say it's less. I will just say 10 utility was derived from it. But then if I say, if I give her something which is action thriller book that she really enjoys, the utility will be much higher. It will be some 50 utility. And the entire concept of utility is only brought in to explain the law of diminishing marginal utility. It's trying to make you understand that humans want something more or feel better when they get something which they're craving. If you are already satisfied with all the books in your house and you're getting more books, you will not find it good, So that's exactly what it means. So if you understood, just message in the chat box. Or...
Yes, I would like to add on to what Teerth said. Utility is I'll just switch on my camera. I will never forget this concept because in my 12th standard, my teacher made me write this answer in 65 different ways. So utility is a very, very psychological concept. So first chocolate I have, okay, maybe I'll get 10 utility from it. Let's say 10. The second chocolate, I'll get 8 because my mouth is already too sweet. When I have the second chocolate, maybe I'll get an 8 utility of 8. When I have the third chocolate, maybe the utility can again drop to, let's say, 6. Okay. And then I have the fourth chocolate, the fifth chocolate. According to the law, according to the assumption, the utility keeps dropping. The total utility keeps dropping every every additional unit of the chocolate I have. So far, so much that we reach a situation where the graph goes to minus. So that is the point of satiety. So the point of disutility, that I don't like it anymore. Of course, it's different when it comes to substances like alcohol. If you guys are into drinking, then it's different when it comes to things that people are addicted to. It is different when it comes to luxury goods. But in economics, it is always assumed that a consumer is always rational, and his or her utility will decrease after the consumption of every additional unit. I hope that's very clear to you. Thank you. Okay, so I'm guessing that we don't have any more queries based on Theet's presentation. So who is ready for a quick utility is not same as usefulness? Theet, would you like to answer that question?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, utility is more based on what you feel. As Sarah was also saying, it's a psychological concept, right? If like as she said, when utility is something more based on satisfaction. Usefulness is different. It's in a different context. Utility means that in a different context. In economics, utility means satisfaction. In English, you can say utility means usefulness. So keep that distinction in mind. Yeah, Ananya is pretty right on this one. Utility is more like satisfaction.
Okay, thank you, Theet. All right. So who here is ready for some?
Sarah,
Yes.
we have another question. Is marginal utility and normal utility the same? And why do they say marginal?
Okay, I think we can keep this question for after some fun, because we've been wanting to start it for so long. Is that okay? The Friday 13, is that okay?
Shall take that as a yes.
Yes, we'll take that as a yes. So who is, yes, that's okay, Friday 13. We're happy that you have lots of questions. But we'll have like a fun session, short session where we play a game that's related to economics. So all of you know what Pictionary is, right? I mean, there are about 59 participants here, and I'm guessing that all of you know what Pictionary is. Yeah, so our team members will draw for you. You guys as respondents, as participants, will have to guess. Okay? So Ninashka?
Oh, and
Yes.
you can leave your answers in the chat box, or you can turn on your camera and like scream out your answer. We love any enthusiasm. We
Yes.
welcome it.
Yes. Ninashka, kindly unmute yourself.
Yes, I'm
Are you ready to present your screen? I will send you a word.
Yes, one sec. I'm just getting Jamboard ready.
Yes. I request everyone to participate, because a lot of work has been gone into it by the team members, especially the first years. The first years are doing an amazing job.
Sarah?
Yes?
Yes, there's a slight change of plans. The word needs to go to Verona first and then me.
Yes. Okay. Verona, you're up. Are you there?
Yes, I was setting up my Jamboard and I'm trying to share my screen. Is
Yes,
it visible?
you can see your screen, Varuna. Thank you. I'm
Alright.
going to put your word. You're going to try and draw that word in 2 minutes, okay? And the participants here, the 59 of us, will get to guess what that word is, except me. Okay?
Okay, try is like a big thing because my drawing sucks, so please cut me some slack.
Tell me something I don't know. Okay, all right. So what do I give you? What do I give you? Easy verse? Easy verse? Easy. I've given you a word, Varuna. And your time starts. Wait, it's not begin yet. 1 sec. Let me just get my timer out. Your time starts now. Yes. Guys,
My words.
Yeah.
Here.
Can one of you volunteer and unmute yourself, please? It can be Moha, Mohan, you had one.
Company.
Lily, awesome. Lily, what's your answer?
Company, business, infrastructure.
I saw someone said building. No, it's not building. Verona, you can respond to them. Oh, yes.
I can't see and like draw.
Okay. So I think we got the answer. Someone said bank. Who said bank on the chat? I would like that you unmute yourself and say the answer out loud.
Yeah, it's me.
Very good one. Introduce yourself, please.
Okay, hello, I'm Prerna from first year EPS.
All right. It is lovely having you in the presentation. Thank you. And you guessed the answer in 40 seconds. And that's a good one. Awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations on behalf of the team. So who would like to go next? Who would like to volunteer to guess next? Ninaushka, are you drawing this time? Oh, Ananya, yes, I saw that your name. Go ahead. Okay, you will do the guessing. Ninaushka, you can draw?
Yes.
Yeah, technical difficulties are solved, right?
Yes, all solved.
Okay, I'm sending you a word. All right, Ninaushka?
Yes.
Okay. I've sent you the word.
Okay, got it.
Ananya, are you ready? Yay! Okay.
Let's go, Ananya. You got this.
I can see her enthusiasm on the chat box, so I'm happy.
Is my screen visible?
Not yet, Nashka.
Yeah, it's visible now.
Yes, it's presenting.
Okay. Can you see my Jamboard?
Yes, Ninashka, we can see your Jamboard. Ananya, wait, your time has not begun yet. Yeah. Ananya, are you ready? Yes. So, Ninashka, your time starts now. No, Anita, it's not a gift. Ananya, any guesses? Yes. yes, so many of what it happened. Anushka, Friday.
Okay, so I'm an artist here.
Actually, Anushka got it right. The word is price. Anushka, can you kindly unmute yourself and introduce yourself to everyone?
Hello, my name is Anushka Vichal and I'm from the EMS course, first year.
It's wonderful having you on board, Anushka. Welcome to App. Yes, also. I hope you're enjoying the session.
Yes, it's really good.
Okay, so Friday 13 and Prerna, you good effort, guys, and Benita also good effort, guys. Even I thought it was a gift. I was like, Ninashka, did I give you the word wrong? Am I getting it wrong? Because it surely did look like a gift. So who's going first? Who's going next? Any of the participants would like to go share their screen and draw? Guys, quickly. No one? No, you guys are all very into. Come on. Guys, I even switched on my camera. Hello, please. No one wants to go next? Okay, I think Varuna, we're back to you. Oh, sorry.
Yep, I'm on it. Let me just share it again.
I'm sending you a word. Also, guys, if you have any queries about call, oh hi Sanjana. Okay, Sanjana.
I'll do it.
Okay. Then next chance we'll give it to Sanjana. All right.
Done. Okay.
Okay. Also, guys, before we continue, I'd like to say that if you have any questions about college, about the department, about the syllabus, and you need an interactive session with your seniors, we have a few seniors in this meeting right now, so you can put your questions there. Okay, and we will be answering your queries. It doesn't necessarily have to be about economics. It can be things as simple as how is college nice, anything. Okay, so Verona, I'm sending you a word.
Yes.
Okay, it's an economic word.
Sarah, you give me such hard things. How am I supposed to draw that?
You're smart, I know. And these kids are smarter, they'll guess. Come on.
Okay. Okay. Fine. Can I start?
Huh?
Start.
Yes, 1 second. Your time starts now. Guys, go guessing. Guessing, you can do this. It's easy. No, Lily, it's not. No, Benita. Yes, Shashank. Shashank got it right. Dude, that is
One pen.
15 seconds. Wow. Shashank, kindly unmute yourself, And I also want you guys to... Shashank, hi, kindly unmute yourself. Introduce yourself to us.
Hello, I'm Shashank from the PMC.
You're in PMC. You're from a science department, right?
Yeah.
Okay, it was lovely having you here. Thank you for giving us the chance to get to know you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Shashank.
Thank you, Shashank.
That was quick. Okay.
Yeah, my drawing's legible.
Yeah. Or they're just smarter. I'm just keep pulling your leg, Varuna. All right.
I know.
So, Joel, Ananya, Shashank, Benita, Lily, really good effort. Now, Sanjana, kindly press into your screen. Sanjana, are you there? Sanjana, do you copy? Okay, I guess not. Mic isn't working. Okay. Lol. Okay. Okay, are you going to press into your screen, Sanjana? Or okay, so this is the time for us to play a new game. I hope you guys will be interested in it. It's called Taboo. Okay, so I need one of the volunteers, someone to volunteer themselves, and I'll send you the word and you can explain it. Who can do it?
You want me to go?
Yes, Varun, I would always love it if you're going.
All right. So to whoever volunteers, we'll give you a word. Say I'm giving Sarah a word and I say bank. And I'll also give her a list of words that she can't say. So taboo is just like Pictionary, but you're talking. So she has to explain the whole idea of a bank without using a few words that I'm going to tell her and explain it to you, and you guys have to guess it. Have I made myself clear?
Yes, you have.
All right, thank you. You don't have to call us ma'am. We're also students.
Yes. Verona, I've sent you the word. The first one is the word that you need to guess, and the ones that follow are the ones that you can't use to explain the word. So I hope all of you are ready. Okay, I'm excited too.
Yeah, we ready?
Guys, are we ready? Oh, wait, hashtag keep rocking, guys.
Thank you Mohan, for your
Oh,
Thank you, Mohan.
Okay, they're ready.
So I will start.
Okay, wait. Timer. Time for timer. Your time starts now.
Okay, what is something that the firms try to do to make money? Why do they?
Activity?
Closer.